to Fight Night Hearthstone Edition, featuring some of the top players from around the world. With $15,000 of prize money on the line, who will go home the Hearthstone champion? This is Fight Night.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Hearthstone Fight Night at ESGN TV. Last night, tradition was broken. DogeHouse lost the first game in the Fight Night Hearthstone series for the very first time. That might throw a wrench into plans, as tonight we'll have Chakki versus Ek0p. We'll tell you all about it right after you take a look at yesterday's highlights.
Oh, that's it? Yeah, I forgot the Vile part.
Like even with the girl match is dead.
Yep. And it is. Artosis concedes.
Yep.
And you don't often see that all the time. A Control Warrior winning by turn 7 against the Shaman.
Yeah. Well, he needed turn 8 to end up killing him, but yeah, nonetheless, game was over on turn 7.
Game number 2 goes to Artosis, and the series is tied.
Equalizes it.
Yeah. Oh, and the Leroy ends up finishing it.
It's a good draw.
Very nicely done. Dark Wannix takes game number 3.
Yeah, this is a pretty good spot. Up 2-1.
Yeah, sends Artosis to his
coming.
last deck.
Yeah.
And that'll be it for the series.
Artosis not able to, and a little bit of over damage as well. Dropped with Thalnos. All right, Dark Wannix takes the series 3-1, and DogeHouse's winning streak for the first game of the series is snapped.
Now let's meet the players. From Team Managrind, Reels, Dark Wannix, Chakki, and Forsen. From Team DogeHouse, Nyx, Savish, Artosis, and Ek0p. So here are the rules for Fight Night Hearthstone Edition. 8 players form 2 teams and battle it out 4v4. 2 team captains spin the heartless ESGN wheel, which will determine the matchups. Now the battle begins. In order to win, the player has to beat all 3 of his rivals' decks. After all the players have battled solo, it's time for the final ace match. All 4 players on each team unite in a grand showdown to find out who is the strongest. Ultimately, the stakes are high. Teams can win as much as $5,000 for crushing their opponents. If one team manages to go even further and clean sweep their opponents, the winners will receive a huge bonus reward of $5,000 on top.
Welcome to ESGN TV's Fight Night. I am Artosis. Alongside me, Krip once again. Krip, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. Nice and relaxed. Ready to see some people get crushed by tiny units in Hearthstone.
Excellent. How did you enjoy last night's episode? Pretty good, right?
Yeah, I expected you to win, but you know, that was mostly in regard to the DogeHouse tradition. At heart, I kind of hoped you'd be crushed. So yeah. There was no
relationship that we had.
There was no real disappointment I could have had with the outcome, so it was a good one.
You know, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah. I hope it was entertaining for you. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. But here we are today. We have another match. It's going to be Chakki going up against Ek0p.
Yeah, 2 pretty fun personalities. Probably on the opposite ends of things, but I'm sure some good moments are going to be seen here.
I trust that as well, Krip. Let's go ahead and actually take a closer look at these players.
My name is Jan Parlis, also known as Ek0p, and I play for Team DogeHouse.
Hi, I'm Keaton Gill. My in-game name is Chakki, and I play for Team Managrind.
So all I know about Chakki is that Reels got him into this fight night. I mean, it was his personal pick to get him here. And I know that Reels is a really good player. I saw him on the King of the Hill from Hearthstone win several times. And yeah. If Reels says that Chakki is a good player and deserves to be here, then I guess Chakki is a player to be respected, even though I haven't seen him play once.
I think Ek0p's personality on the screen and stuff is pretty funny. A lot of people don't like it that much, but personally I like it. As a player, I think he's pretty good. You know, nothing really bad about his play that I've seen so far.
I definitely think there's no favorite to win this fight night. I mean, Team Managrind being the X Factor, the unknown. They didn't get much exposure other than some online tournaments and being top ranks at ladder. But yeah, they didn't get as much exposure as we did on Fight Night and stuff like that. So we don't know what they're all about, what their preferences are, while they know, because we got the exposure. So we are an open book to them, kind of, and they are not. So either they are really good and gonna totally dominate us, or we're gonna wreck them because they are bad. But we don't know that, to be honest, until we see it. So anything can happen in this Fight Night, that's for sure.
All right, well, we have Chakki going up against Ek0p, and, you know, we've seen both these players play before, and Ek0p we've seen him play quite a bit before. Who do you think is favored to take this match?
Well, from what I've seen, Ek0p tends to play the control-y game, and from what I've heard, Chakki is pretty nice at smashing faces.
Yeah, he's pretty good at just attacking right through, going for face. And
so this is pretty much a traditional matchup where you need the draws in time, or it's going to go heavily in one direction.
Yeah, that is true. But as far as the decks line up against each other, I'm actually kind of liking Ek0p's. You know, we have, it's Shaman for both, Warrior for both, but a Druid for Ek0p, whereas we have a Rogue for Chakki.
Yep.
And, you know, we saw that Rogue yesterday, or the last time that Chakki played.
Yeah, I've heard Rogue can go, you know, well or really terribly against Warrior, so I'm not too sure what to expect, as usually it's very few cards that change these matchups, and sometimes you draw them and sometimes you don't, and you get crushed.
That is true. Well, you know, Chakki, he has been called the Nimsh of that team. That's what Reels was telling me before Fight Night 5, Season 5 started up. So we'll see if he can draw the cards that he actually needs. Well, you know what? Let's throw it over to Frodan and see what the players actually think about this match.
Alright, Team DogeHouse. Ek0p is playing. Artosis is on the desk. There's now you two here on the couch. How do you feel about Ek0p's chances against Chakki?
We think his chances are really great, and we have full confidence in him taking this down. Possibly even 3-0 once again.
Well, and you know, he is bringing his Shaman deck that he played in the first week back. Nyx, you must be feeling really good. Shaman's performed well for your team.
Yeah, Shaman has been amazing, and I think we can pull off a 3-0 again. I think Ek0p is the more solid player. He has a lot of experience being here, so I give him the edge.
The big question is, what is he going to shout when he plays Alec here once again?
He's gonna shout Alaki Rakba for sure. I hope Chakki does it as well. That would be good.
Well, it's going to be a fun match, guys. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Alright, I'm with Managrind right now, who's watching Chakki getting ready for his games. How do you feel Chakki's chances going up Ek0p? You saw Ek0p yesterday, his powerful Shaman deck, he's bringing it back.
I definitely think Chakki has a great chance. You know, we know what classes they're bringing into it, and I definitely think that, you know, Chakki can bring this one home.
And Dark Wonix, I see that he's also going to be bringing a Warrior this time around. Have you helped him build it, or just something kind of his own creation?
It's a little bit of a mix of different Warrior styles. It's a little bit changed Warrior, so it's not completely original.
Okay. And then, Forsen, you were the one who played Ek0p last week. You got a good sense of how he plays and his skill level. Gauging Chakki's skill relative to Ek0p, how easy will it be for Chakki?
I think they're equal in the skill of being lucky, at least, from what we've seen. And I think that's gonna pan out in a great match. So.
All right. Well, Forsen says it's gonna be a great match. I can't wait to see who the RNG will favor.
Stay tuned for more Fight Night.
Fight Night is awesome, and for winners.
When I'm not fapping to top decking and wrecking, I'm watching Fight Night.
Welcome back to Fight Night.
All right, Crip. It's just about time here. Shaman versus Shaman. Ek0p against Chakki.
Yeah, I think I like Chakki's side a little bit better. With Shaman getting that totem army, you know, up and strong tends to be the edge, and that's going to come with a slightly faster deck, which I think is Chakki's. But You know, the faster deck tends to get crushed by Lightning Storm a little bit worse than the slower one.
That is true, but I think I have to agree with you. While I actually like the deck of E0p a little bit better, I feel like it's a little bit more versatile against a wider range of decks.
That's true.
Chakki's does seem a bit faster. It has, you know, a few of those extra cards like the Leroy, like the Lava Burst, that might be able to help put him over.
And this had that big game Hunter. There's not a lot of big game in E0p's deck.
There's not a lot of big game in there at all.
Only modified game to be big.
Yeah, if he catches a Fire Elemental standing next to a Flame Tongue Totem, which I don't find that likely,
well,
you know, then it will be great. But you know, it looks like the game is just about ready to start. So let's go ahead and start game number 1. All right, down here we do have Chakki.
A lot of their early game cards are very similar until you get to the 3 to 4th turn. So it might be confusing to see who actually plays what here. Both players with Feral Spirit.
Ooh, wow, look at that. Double Flame Tongue and a Lightning Bolt for E0p.
Yeah, if he can get board control, that's almost impossible to stop. But if he can't get board control, those cards are worthless.
Well, let's see how this goes. You know what? I love having the Unbound, and look, that Mana Tide came right back. It feels like that happens more often than not, but
it's definitely more memorable.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Wow, E0p's hand is incredible right now.
I have to agree with you on that. This is going to be kind of hard for Chakki. There's a lot of removal in E0p's hand, and of course with those 2 Flame Tongues, if he uses that removal correctly, clears the board right.
I think I might Flame Tongue here.
Just play a Flame Tongue straight out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I know Shamans don't run more than 1 Stormforged. The chance is fairly low.
That's true.
But I don't like that.
You don't like coining that? Well,
no,
that's going to leave him with 1 mana.
Yeah.
But he does have a Lightning Bolt, so he has a little bit of flexibility there still. All right, let's see. What is he going to do here? You know, he's got his own Feral Spirit. I think the Unbound is something he really wanted to get out on this turn, because if he went like Unbound the next turn, Feral, and possibly even Lightning Bolt, that's like insanity.
I'm thinking that the Rockbiter is pretty good here because you can Rockbiter Totem next turn, Unbound Lightning.
Yeah, I quite like that. If you Rockbiter, and then you can get a Totem this turn as well, which is pretty decent.
The issue is that I think with this type of deck, with as bursty it is, the Rockbiter might be one of those finishers that you might want to hold on to.
But I think it might be more important right now to just kind of build your board. And if you can get the Unbound reasonably big, they have to use a Hex on it. Because, you know, once it gets 5-6 health, you can't kill it any other way, especially when some wolves are in front of it.
Well, this is the problem that we were talking about. I mean, double Feral with the initiative is way better than double Feral without it. But without having the option to play the Flame Tongue, it's just not as good.
That's right. You know, he uses the axe there instead of the Lightning Bolt, but he does clear the board. Thing is, at least one of these is going to go down.
Yeah.
Now, would you actually take both of these wolves down right now?
I don't.
It's kind of a hard choice for sure, because if you use one of your spells, you can't do a totem. Obviously, both these spells are going to be very useful later on, and against 1 health wolves, it feels a bit wasteful.
I feel like you'd play both the spells next turn. I think you attack with the 1/1, and maybe you get another 1/1.
Yeah. I like that a lot more, because with that Unbound, it's really going to be able to be charged up quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right, and we should be seeing a totem, I think, but he actually is going to go ahead and just Lightning Bolt. So E0p's board now clean as well. And
I guess he wants to make this play to curve his mana perfectly. So while he doesn't get the overload bonus on the Unbound, he has 4 mana the next turn, and the turn after that he has 6 for the Fire Elemental.
Yeah, that turn 6 is absolutely crucial to be able to play out your Fire Elementals and possible Argents if your deck has them. Well, looks like we're going to see that Stormforged Axe, and this is going to be
E0p with the same strategy, actually. He just goes for a play that curves out and allows him to play Fire Elemental on 6.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the play. I think it's what you need to do here. Now, do you just go ahead and play out your Unbound Elemental, you think? Could do something like a Mana Tide and Rockbiter into the Totem, but I don't like the Rockbiter into the Totem. It's kind of gross.
I think the Mana Tide will draw out a card.
Well,
It'll draw the Flame Tongue, unfortunately, but that's still pretty good because the Flame Tongue will get Fire Elemental.
That's true. That is true. You know what? I like that play, and it looks like Chakki does as well. So you'll at least get to cycle through that. And, well, you know, he could use the Lightning Bolt on this, but...
No way.
I wouldn't like to do that just because he wants to play that Fire Elemental on turn 6.
I would even consider, like, double Flame Tongue. Just line it up.
Double Flame Tongue. Imagine a nice Lightning Storm on that. Well, he's going to go ahead and take out this Mana Tide, and he does have that Flame Tongue out. Really nice board position right now for ECOP. But as you said, that Flame Tongue, or rather, that Fire Elemental
is going to clean up. But it's going to clean up on the other end as well with the weapon hit and his own Fire Elemental.
Yeah. And you know that leaving a Fire Elemental and a couple totems out for ECOP after doing that, that's going to be a really nice position for him, even though, you know, he's a little bit lower on health.
Yeah, I think ECOP is certainly in the lead right now. Just having any kind of board really puts you ahead in this kind of matchup.
You know, especially the fact that he has the 2 Flame Tongues. He has so much versatility with how to kill
Soon to be 1,
off.
though.
Yes.
There we go. Back down to 1.
There we go. But with that Cyclone in the hand, a lot of ways to kill his opponents. Fire Elemental, or any other minions that do come out.
It's a pretty good card, but you'd want to line that up with the Flame Tongue, I think. So I think the Fire Elemental is the correct choice here.
Definitely have to agree with you there. I'm going to go ahead and bash it with his face as well. And once again, ECOP has a really, really strong board.
Yep, that's the best way to kill a Fire Elemental, with another one.
Indeed. It's kind of like the Argent Commander Wars that we used to see all the time, and are actually starting to come back a little bit.
At least in these matchups, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty popular in the Shaman.
Indeed it is.
It's not in Chakki's version, but in most other Shaman decks that we've seen in these last few rounds, I think we have seen the Commanders.
Yeah, that's true. Let me think. Mine definitely did have them, and yesterday we definitely did see some Argent Commanders as well. And
so here we might see the Unbound into Lightning Storm into Rockbiter.
Yeah, that would definitely be
it's not a great play, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, it clears the board at least, and it does grow your Unbound, so that's really important to get him up there into that 5 health category. Really nice play there by Chakki. And now he does have control of this board.
Yeah, but it's pretty short-lived considering the Argent Commander in the hand of ECOP.
Well, you know what? He could do the Argent Commander, but he's going to have to hit it with his axe as well. So he could do the axe plus Lightning Bolt and just hit Argent Commander to the face. That's one other thing that he does have enough mana to do.
Or you could, like, heavy overload this turn. You can do Feral and Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, and then you'd be overloaded for 3, which gives you 5 mana this turn after. I don't like that one as much,
You don't
really.
like the 5?
No, because if you have 5 mana, I mean... Well, you could do like a Hex plus Flame Tongue or something like that the next turn. Which is, I mean, that's pretty nice. I get sad when that Argent Commander gets choked up in your hand all game. But you know what? This is actually the only Urgent that he's playing. So that actually, I think, could factor into this, where he's saving that for possibly like a Wind Fury or something like that later on.
Well, it looks like he's going with my play right now, unless he wants that card to live, which I doubt.
Yeah, probably not. I clean up those wolves pretty easily.
Yep, he does go with it.
And a good play. Keeping control of this board for now. Now over on Chakki's side. Ooh.
Bad news.
Gets his Alec here.
There's like nothing you can do right now.
Yeah, this is kind of a gross hand that he has. Like,
I think you totem and maybe tink the totem. I mean, there's not that many cards that tink in the opponent's deck.
You know what? I'm kind of with you on this. I guess if you get Spell Power Totem, you could use an Earth Shock or something like that, but it's not really
their
clean.
Spell Power Totem.
Yeah, and he's going to go ahead and do this. Ooh,
nice.
Sick move right there. Chakki getting that Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Sick draw right there. Oh, he's got another one. He can kind of clear without the Lightning Storm, but the Lightning Storm helps a lot here. I think you can Lightning Storm, sack
the Spell Power
Totem, potentially.
Yeah.
Which might be alright.
That's a strong move. And, you know what? I'm sure that Flame Tongue will be coming out here in just a second. Thinking about it just a little bit right now. But I quite like the play, I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other play here is to just make a totem, or where to put the totem you may be thinking about.
I think it's too risky to make a totem. You're not playing a class that can do 1 damage directly, so if he gets a heal totem, doesn't attack, you might be at a loss.
Yeah. So, goes ahead with that attack. E0p just every turn taking that board control back. Now, the Lava Burst comes into play, but Earth Shocking.
Alakir time.
Yeah, indeed. Well, he's going to get both the wolves, but definitely does fall down in health quite a bit here.
Well, Alakir's going to die to the Argent Commander.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything else that can be played.
Nope, that's going to use up all of his mana, unless he wants to use... No, I mean, you're not going to hex here.
Peggle. Well, you can...
I wouldn't really like the hex here, to be honest.
No, I don't like it either.
Argent just feels like a better play, and there's that dead card.
It's actually dead now.
It's completely dead. There's no way for him to have an 8-power minion on his opponent's turn. Yep. No way. Well, I mean, an Unbound
that gets really out of control.
I think he's already casted enough of his Overload spells that literally that's still impossible as well.
Okay.
Like, does he have 5 left? No, I don't think so. And this is...
If Chakki is really tuned into the deck he's playing against, he knows the big game, or he might be able to be clued in that the big game is ready to play.
Yeah, unless you're expecting Rag. Like, I don't think you'll expect an Earth Elemental right now. Those seem to rotate in the metagame every 3 weeks for about 2 days. And I don't think that we're, like, within that 2-day period. So, he does go ahead and play it, and I think that's a great play from him. You know, unfortunately, he didn't get the Spell Power Tome, so he has to use that Lava Burst instead of the Earth Shock on the Argent Commander.
I think this game is going to swing heavily in E0p's favor in the next few turns here. Especially because the Golden Peggle is guaranteed to draw the first card.
Yeah, we've been over this before, and mathematically it's been proven that this will draw a card this turn. Of course, he's going to grab another totem as well. I would suggest doing the other totem first, not to insult Peggle, that you do something after.
Oh, well, he decides against that.
All right, well, I mean, it's Golden Peggle,
Peggle
so
forgives him.
It doesn't really matter what you do.
Okay.
I mean, I try not to offend him, but definitely is going to draw that first card. Now, of course, you have to play this as your... You think we're going to see the Earth Shock go down?
Yeah.
I don't think that you can leave that Peggle be in... Oh, wow, that Earth Shock's going to do a lot of damage. So, it looks like we should be seeing that. He's actually still thinking about it, but I would say with a Hex and Lightning Storm in your hand, you definitely want an Earth Shock here. That Peggle is just something that can get this game completely out of control.
We have a lot of dead cards on the board of E0p, but...
Oh, wow.
He does not.
Well, you know, both Flame Tongues are gone.
Yep. And he's got 1 Argus to really activate those dead cards, but other than that, there's nothing. It may not come up very often in these type of games, but in Arena, sometimes you get all your creatures hexed, or they're all terrible silenced totems, and then you can't actually play anything. So we'll see if that becomes the case, because
I would be rather surprised if that did become the case. Ooh, the Alakir draw, and he has a Rock Biter in his hand too.
I think he was planning on using the Rock Biter actually.
Yeah, and I think
it's 4/4.
Not even a bad play still, but
no,
he may go for the Hex.
I think the Hex is the correct play because next turn you will not be overloaded, and you can Alakir for the win.
And that would be
actually, is it for the win?
12,
no, not quite.
It's
1 short.
Yeah. And, of course, he does draw off that Golden Peggle once again. Now, Chakki actually has quite a bit of damage here in his hand.
For creatures.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you do probably a Lightning Storm here, and then just maybe use an Earth Shock on whatever it doesn't kill. Because 50/50.
I think you have to pray before the Lightning Storm, though.
Most likely, yeah.
I mean, you have to hit 2 creatures for 4.
Well, even if you hit just 1 for 4, you can at least finish it. Now, let's say you hit both those for 3. You may as well just leave the game. Like, that's just too bad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, I got the silenced, damaged Flame Tongue Totem and the 1/1 dude. Oh, okay, well, he's just going to go ahead and hit that. And this turn, he decides to Earth Shock. So he was really hoping to draw something there to help out, but...
I think he was planning on doing a big Lightning Storm, and he didn't think his Drake would die.
All right, well, you can get him down to, let's see, that's 12, 13, so...
I think you trade the 1/1s and just hit him for a bunch.
Yeah, I quite like that play. And you know, you have a pretty decent hand behind that anyways. 3 minions. It's not like the best minions. It's kind of like the garbage that you don't want at this point in the game, but compared to your opponent having almost nothing out, and oh, it looks like he's actually going to go ahead and maybe play the rest of his hand instead. But if he does, that Lightning Storm is going to be pretty valuable. Lucky thing that he didn't try that, huh?
This is going to be really bad if he does this.
I think he's going to. He's bringing it up.
I don't think it's the right play. I don't understand why he's eager to do that move.
I feel like just doing the Alec here. Have we seen both Hex from Chakki?
Have we seen
It's hard to keep track of Hexes. Yeah, we've definitely seen one. Right?
I don't know.
Okay, let's say that we've seen one.
We've seen one from EK0p.
Yeah, I know we saw one from EK0p. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I have a good memory of the last turn at least.
Do you?
Yeah.
What happened then? Did he summon?
There was like a
totem?
hex.
Oh yeah, he lightning bolted something, right?
Oh, Chakki did, but EK0p did the hex last turn. Before that, though, it's whatever.
Is he going to do Alec here this turn without Rockbiter? Could be. Just saving that Rockbiter maybe for a little bit of removal.
Mm-hmm.
But with okay, well, it looks like he just wants to kind of play out his hand, but as you were talking about, if he does this, that Lightning Storm is going to be absolutely gross.
I think Lightning Storm was better than his play last turn, so EK0p might be thinking he doesn't have it, which is a very good way to think when you're playing like Arena or something like that. And it may be a very good play from Chakki to know that that might be the case.
Oh my.
No, he didn't use the Hex. Chakki's had the Hex in the hand for a while.
Wow, we're bad. So we have Leroy out here, and I think what you do here is probably a Hex and maybe even the Lightning Storm and a Totem.
Oh, the one Overload really screws you right now. Because
my god,
being able to play all 3 of those cards would be great.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Well, what are you going to do? I guess the Leroy's going to have to be saved until he draws that Wind Fury to try to finish this game off. But you know what? EK0p still has some cards in hand here.
It's a 3-card lead, a life lead, and you can't really say that he has the board disadvantage. A Healing Totem with 1 card in hand is not really anything.
No, certainly not. Still have that removal in play here for EK0p.
Taunt is very good here.
Yeah. You know, even if he draws that Wind Fury, he can't really do much with it. Golden Pagel. All right, at least he can draw a card off this Pagel this turn. There you go. 100% so far in the Fight Night Season 5 and 6, the Golden Pagel.
I don't even know.
It is. It's been 100%. First turn.
Oh.
Always draws first turn. Well, that's
so
a
does the
Manatide Totem.
Yep.
Generally speaking, that draws first turn as well.
Yep.
Unless, of course, he Earth Shocks it himself. All right, looks like of course he's going to drop this Manatide Totem. Probably just deciding what he wants to kill with his minions. Like, do you go after the Nat Pagel, or do you go after that Spell Power Totem? And I would say take out the Nat Pagel.
I don't think he used any cards here. I think he just attacked into Pagel.
Well, I mean, if he Earth Shocks, he technically can kill the whole board, but yeah, I don't like that at all. I think you just double attack Pagel, pass the turn. You're going to be drawing cards.
I agree.
All good.
Well, he hasn't seen Flame Tongue Totem, and he may think he'd lose a creature if he leaves 2 on the board. So actually Earthshock might be pretty good. You can Earthshock 1 totem and clear his board.
Yeah. It brings your guys down in health quite a bit. Makes it a little bit easier for him to clear things, but...
Well, it's definitely a big misplay because he played the other 2 cards first.
Oh yeah, that would be.
So I think in order to not look foolish, just like, just go with my original
It's funny
plan.
that sometimes people actually do that. They're like, well, I'm going to look foolish if I do this now because that's an obvious big misplay, whereas this can at least be defended.
And turns out that he gets the Flame Tongue.
Well, I guess, Crip, that he should have gone for that Earth Shock.
Yep.
Wow. All right, well.
It's not quite enough, though. You can't do that much damage with it, and the Manatide's going to get out of control.
That is very, very true. He's going to have to play that Unbound Elemental over on the left side. And definitely take out, I would say, the Pyromancer. And he wants to keep the Heal Totem.
Yeah. What spells does he have left?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Actually, I don't know if he has any spells left. It's 2 Lightning Storms, 2 Lightning Bolts, and 2 Earth Shocks.
And he did use actually his.
He used Lava Burst too.
He did use his Lava Burst on that Argent commander.
There isn't a
earlier
single
on.
spell left in the
No,
deck.
he has Wind Fury.
Well,
it's not
spells
overload.
that's affected by spell damage from the spell damage totem.
Yeah. And so no need for that totem anymore. All right, so you know what's it's kind of a scary totem to have out there, but look at this hand of E0p. It's so
really,
quality.
Yeah, it's really bad news for Chakki. I think Chakki is about to lose right now.
Basically dead from this, I would say.
Yeah.
This is just
true.
like way too much. With that Rockbiter weapon and everything, he can just clear stuff up.
I think you might double Earth Shock here.
You think so?
Nah, just one Earth Shock actually, it's fine.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter the health on that guy. Your fire elemental is going to be the real killer here. Well, the real killer is that Manatide totem. Manatide totem's ruling season 6 of Fight Night so far.
Oh man, tough spot for Chakki. There's really nothing you could do at this point.
Well, I think you definitely do your Feral Spirit, and I would say that you have to consider what to do with this Jenkins. I think you got to play him, right?
I think he's thinking of playing him, yeah.
Maybe run him into the Elemental. Thing is, what do you do with this 1/1 totem? It doesn't really do much for you. That Manatide's going to continue to draw, and if you can't deal with the Manatide draws 4 or 5 cards, it's like how are you ever going to win against that?
You could Leroy into that.
The Manatide? That sounds like such... Oh, man.
That's a really risky move.
That is a risky move.
We know it won't pay off because of the other Earth Shock is in his hand.
Ugh. But I mean, leaving it out there is losing too, right?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Going for that face.
He's going for it, man. When in doubt, go for face.
Well, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to end well for him. He's going to have to get rid of some minions if he wants to play what he's got out here.
So, let's see.
He's got the spell power, so Earthshock does 2. Of course, he can bring it up to 3 with the Azure Drake.
There's no way you can win right now without drawing a Wind Fury, I believe. But, I mean, I'm looking at the thinness of those cards left in his deck, and that looks like 7 or so to me.
Wow, I wonder if that is 7. I hope he mouses over it. I would really like to know. I gotta disagree with you. That doesn't look like 7. That looks like 6 to me.
Okay.
I think you're a fool to think that.
Are we
that
doing
looks like
the Price is Right style?
Closest without going over?
Yeah.
No, because then I would have chosen 1 or 8. Because those would have been the only right plays for me.
Okay.
Big Price is Right fan. All right, so looks like he wants to just attack into here just to play that Azure Drake.
Yep.
He's got to get that out there, see what he draws.
I think he might have a Lightning Storm left as well.
Let's see, and a Blood Mage. Not the most useful thing right now, that's for sure. And, yep, this is a great play. Take out that Wolf. Of course, he can use the Rockbiter to take out one as well. And it looks like he's going to do it on his Manatide totem. I love it.
Yeah, you really don't want to take any extra damage.
And I think the Whelp will trade with that 1/1. Look at that.
Yeah, it's okay to be aggressive in this spot because your board is full. So that was actually a very good play. Right now he's missing a taunt and a 1/1. I think playing a totem here is probably worth it because you're not going to lose unless you get some crazy charge combo. I mean, playing another creature just doesn't actually do anything.
Well, with 0 cards in hand, there's like no way to even get the combo.
I still like my taunt. Just get that taunt.
I see what you're saying, but like, there's literally no way that his opponent can win next turn, right? Yeah. Like, there's just no like Arcane Intellect card. I mean, that's a reasonable draw for right now, though. It's just he's so out of gas at this point.
Yeah.
All right, gonna go ahead and taunt that, but that's still 8 damage on E0p's side, and he can up that to 10 quite easily. Well, I guess not because his board is full. That's kind of funny. Well, all you can do here is attack.
Can't even hero ability pass.
Yeah.
This is below the level of priest plays.
Well, no, I mean, he's going to attack at least, right? That seems like it's about 100 times above the level Priest plays.
All right, fine. I'll concede this.
Yeah. Sorry, Crip.
Doing damage is a little better than healing.
How many cards has that Manatide drawn? He's drawn like 6 cards?
Yeah, too many.
And he has 4 cards in hand. Imagine how this game would look different without Manatide. That card is so good. And that's it for Ek0p.
Oh, now it is.
And that's game.
You didn't have lethal before that last draw, though.
Yep. And that is going to be GG.
Yep.
All right, game number 1 going to Ek0p.
Yeah, it's good to note that Ek0p did manage to pull off the BM finish. That is the most overkill damage possible in that particular game.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
I'm always worried that he's going to mess up and like hit exact lethal or something, but you never want to just hit exact lethal. You want to make sure you play all the cards in your hand.
Yeah, you want to show off just how badly you could have beat them. That's a very important part of Hearthstone.
It is, especially, you know, when you had a Manatide totem out for like 7 turns. All right,
well, that's all skill.
That certainly it is. You know, he had that board control and kept with it. So let's go ahead and jump to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get into game number 2.
Stay tuned for more Fight Night.
Get hyped for Fight Night on ESGN TV, please no copy pasterino.